Welcome back. We're making this hour one to remember with the help of the groundbreaking HBO Max competition show, Legendary. And still with us, host of Legendary, Dashaun Wesley, and the show's celebrity judges, Law Roach, and actor and activist, Jameela Jamil. Now, in that clip, we just saw another judge on the show in action. Leiomy Maldonado is a living legend in the world of ballroom, known as the Wonder Woman of Vogue. Her signature hair flip, the Lemon Lolly, has been replicated by superstars like Beyonce and Janet Jackson. And she joins us now. Please welcome Leiomy Maldonado to the show. Oh, so beautiful. Hi. Welcome. You got a whole fan base there. Welcome.
So excited.
I'm so excited. Have a seat. Oh. I love it. You look beautiful.
Thank you.
All of you
So
just
do
look
you.
so amazing. Thank you, thank you. I had a whole team all day doing this.
Same here.
Same here.
We know the journey.
You know the journey. Listen, as I asked Dashaun earlier, what were your expectations of the show when you signed up?
Oh, for me, the most important thing was for them to get it right. I needed production, and I needed the people behind all of this to understand that this culture cannot be washed out, you know? It needs to be the real people.
Right.
It needs to be told by the real story. We need to understand and feel the real passion. And you can't get that unless you get the real deal.
And that's, you mean you are, as we said, a legend. Of the judges, you're the only one who's competed?
Yes. Yeah.
So when you were in the meetings, because I know what it's like to pitch a show. Everyone says they like the show, we all know this. And then somebody wants to change the show, and then somebody else says this. And you have to politely stick to your guns on it, so to speak.
I don't really know about politely on my own. I like to keep it real, you know? I like to keep it real. I'm not a filtered girl.
Yeah.
You see, I'm here painted a little, but I'm not filtered.
No.
I like to keep it real
Yeah.
because if you're not being real, sometimes they take that little politeness and they won't take you serious.
Well, what does it say in the South? You take my kindness as a weakness.
Exactly. So,
And you didn't want any of you to appear such. So take me into, I don't want to know the tea on the negative, but go back to the moment where you said, I have to fight for the culture here and making sure that we keep true to this moment.
I think that's actually a better question for Dashaun or Leiomy.
Give me a moment where you said, I'm not giving in. You don't have to name names.
honestly, it's been a lot for me, especially as a dancer, especially coming from underground. When I first came into the mainstream, a lot of times they were trying to give me like the chump change and put me in these great productions, but not give me the proper like acknowledgement. And a lot of times I've said no. I feel like I've said no more than I've said yes.
Wow.
But look where I'm at now.
Right. Well, there's power in no. And really, Dashaun, with the show being in its season 3, did you feel more pressure going in? Because, right, you got, when the first season, people say, okay, it's legendary, nobody's ever done it. Now you're in season 3, and you have eyeballs who may have doubted it, but now they want in on it. Did you feel the extra pressure?
Honestly, it was no pressure. Just let us realize and understand that we got more work to do. We have so much more to say because, you know, we're showing you what ballroom is from a lens, but it's so much more that goes on within this community, honey. You have no idea. But it's like, again, we have that lens there, and like we should just make sure, like, again, it's the right, the real, and the authentic and true to what it is.
I think the pressure was put on the contestants.
Yes,
Yeah.
if anything.
You'll
If
hear us
anything.
say that over and over, especially me. You'll hear me say it over and over again. It's season 3, so the bar has been set. And I think the winners from season 2 were so amazing. All the talent.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And so I think that's where the pressure, for us, we were like, okay, it's time to get together, my legendary family, and do our jobs again. But yeah, we did hold this season's talent to a higher standard.
You said it's time to get together the family. Jameela is still here. The last time I saw you, you were on the show, and the next morning I woke up to the devastating news of you losing your 3-year-old nephew in a tragic accident. Lamar Jr. was in this unbelievable story. And I thought about you in so many ways, but I also thought about this team that you work with and the family. What was it like forging ahead with the loss of a 3-year-old baby?
Yeah. What it did was, because I worked so much in my career, Legendary and being an image architect has taken so much of my life, which I'm grateful for. But it made me put things in perspective because he was 3 and, you know, it's different stages of grief, right? And so the one that was the most hard for me was the guilt because I'm like, he was 3. I didn't really get a chance to love him as much as I thought I could and see him and be around him. And we share the same, he was born on my birthday, so we already had that bond. But yeah, it's just, when it's a baby, it's a little bit different because you have all those things that you'll never know. Like, I'll never know what he'll become, or I'll never know, who he married or who his children would be, So it's just like the grief of that. And yeah, and I went through a point where I was like super depressed, and I had never been depressed before. And my heart goes out to people who deal with chronic depression because I didn't think I was gonna make it. I didn't think I was gonna make it through it. But, now I spend as much time with my nieces, so they are like the light of my life. It's not about the stuff anymore. It's about the relationships with my family now. So.
Thank you for sharing it. I know it's still very raw and still unimaginable. And I know that the blessing of life, to your point, is not the stuff.
Yeah.
It's the good people.
Yeah.
And you're with good people every day at work, and I know in your personal life. And one thing I can tell you, anybody related to you has to be incredibly proud. So those milestones you said you won't know, but Lamar Jr. knew his uncle.
Thank you.
And saw you shine in this beautiful show that you are a part of that is legendary.